Okay friends, it's time to get started on our rear sway bar links. When you do these, you're going to want to go ahead and do them as a pair. Of course, you're going to want to make sure that you raise and support the rear of the vehicle so the suspension's hanging. After that, continue on by removing your center cover, all of your 19mm lug nuts, and then both of the rear wheels. With the wheel off of there, we have a nice clear view of our rear sway bar link. Up along the top of the sway bar link, you're going to find a 15mm nut. That's attached to a bolt that goes all the way through, down along this area, through the sway bar, through this sheathing, through the lower control arm, and it actually starts underneath the lower control arm. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a 16mm socket down along the bottom, hold the top nut with a 15mm wrench to remove this. That's something that's very common to happen. Typically, the nut is just going to come off of there, and then you can just go ahead and knock it right down and out. I'm going to start separating all this. If your sway bar link was rotted and it broke like ours did, you're going to have to make your way underneath. To continue, we'll use a cutoff wheel. We want to cut off the head of the bolt here. We'll take off the lower bushing, and then we can just go ahead and pull it out. But if yours didn't break, generally you can just go ahead and pull everything out right down through here, and then there it is. At this point, I've cut a whole bunch of little slits in this. I'm going to continue on with an air chisel, and I'll just knock the rest off. Otherwise, you can continue on with your cutting wheel and just finish it up. Let's grab what's left of that sway bar link and remove it from the lower control arm. Okay friends, it's time to prepare to install our rear sway bar links. To do this, you're going to want to break down your new sway bar link. Go ahead and take the nut off of the main bolt. Once the nut's off of there, go ahead and remove the top washer, both of your bushings, next washer, spacer, washer, and bushing. Let's leave it just like this. You can tell I have my long bolt, one of my washers, one of my bushings with the little piton facing up. Now let's go ahead and get over to the lower control arm. We'll just put this in and through the hole on the bottom of the control arm. Next, take one of your bushings with the little piton facing down towards the control arm. One of your washers, you can tell that it's beveled to fit around the bushing. Spacer, bring it up a little bit. Next washer, bushing with the little piton facing towards the sway bar link. Go ahead and put that up and through the sway bar link, put on another bushing, and then your washer. Once you have all that together, continue on with your locking nut. Looking at the locking nut, you can tell that it has a little neoprene locker on one side, and the other side only has threads. You want the neoprene facing up. Go ahead and start that on there. Now at this point, it's a good idea to go ahead and do the other side of the vehicle. Now we're going to continue on by using a 14mm down along the bottom to turn the large bolt. We'll also use a 14mm to hold the nut in position. When we tighten this, you only want to tighten it until you can see all of your bushings touching up against the sway bar link or the control arm. You don't need to squish them down so they're completely flat. double check all of your bushings. Do the same on the other side. Once you've double checked everything, continue on by putting on your wheel. Now it's time to get both of the rear wheels on the vehicle. Once you get them on there, just go ahead and start on all of the lug nuts, bottom them out. We'll get the wheels back on the ground, and then we can torque each of them to 100 foot-pounds. Okay, with the wheel back on the ground, let's go ahead and torque these in a crisscross manner. Torqued. Of course, if you have your cover, go ahead and put that on now. Have a look at the back side. All these areas are the areas that the lug nuts need to fit into. Double check to make sure it's completely secured. Okay friends, we got our sway bar links in there. Of course we did them as a pair because that's how you do them. Aside from that, go ahead and take it for a road test. Make sure you don't hear any funny noises. Thank you for watching.